Chapter 31. A Feast in the Forest. As the Sheriff of Nottingham had given up so much time to the capture of Robin Hood, other work that his office required him to do had fallen behind. He decided one day he must attend to this. He was very grateful to his friend the abbot, who offered to bring in the rents from people in some outlying districts. The abbot collected the rents and handed them over to a prior who was travelling with him. "Perhaps you would be good enough to take them to the sheriff," said the abbot. "I have little time to spare today." The prior felt honoured that such an important task should be entrusted to him. He rode off through the forest with the money bags slung around the saddle of his horse. "What on earth are those men doing?" he asked himself as he espied 4 tramps bending low over the ground. They were half hidden by bracken. "I must make some inquiries," he decided. "Hey, you fellows," he called, trying hard to look important. "What do you think you're doing?" The 4 tramps spun round. Anyone who knew them would have recognised Robin Hood, Little John, Will Scarlet, and Much the miller's son. As he came nearer, the prior saw that a newly killed deer lay on the ground. These wretched tramps had actually killed one of the king's animals. The matter must be investigated at once. "What is this lying in the bracken?" demanded the prior. "Eh?" asked Robin, feigning deafness. "There!" shouted the prior, pointing with his finger to the dead animal. "Down there!" "Brown bear?" said Robin, with one hand to his ear. "No, sir, that is deer, that is." "I know that, you fathead." The prior was annoyed by the simpleton. "Don't you know that deer is royal meat?" "Boiled meat?" "Ah, it'll be that shortly," said Robin innocently. "Royal, not boiled," shouted the prior, bending towards Robin's ear as far as he could without falling off his horse. "Soiled?" "It will be if we don't move it soon," grinned Robin, turning to his companions. "By the heavens!" thundered the prior, "this man must be an idiot." He jumped from his horse, determined to make it clear that he was not going to stand by while these 4 tramps carted away one of the king's deer before his very nose. Things did not work out as he planned, however, for he suddenly felt his arms held in grips of iron. Then he was lifted right off his feet as Little John and Will Scarlet carried him to Robin Hood. "I'm sorry to have caused you trouble," laughed Robin, as he threw off his tramp's disguise. "The truth is, I can't hear very well in these old clothes." "Robin Hood!" gasped the prior in terror. "Oh, come," smiled Robin. "We are not so bad as they say we are, you know. Come and have dinner with us, Sir Prior. Little John and Will Scarlet will hold you tightly so you don't lose your way." The unhappy prior had no option but to submit. Robin Hood and Much the miller's son went on in front. The 2 outlaws holding the prior walked at such a rate that at times the portly man's feet barely touched the ground. Soon they reached the clearing in the greenwood where Robin's men were already preparing dinner. Robin sent 4 men to bring in the deer from where it had been left. Dinner was a gay feast for all except one. The prior munched his meat miserably. The venison was very good, and he secretly enjoyed it, But all those laughing eyes from the other side of the table did not make him feel much at ease. He began to wish that he had not been so forward in accepting the job of carrying the village rents to the sheriff. The thought of all that money on the horse's saddle was disturbing. The prior stood up as soon as the meal was over. Very nice," he blurted out. "Fine food. I really must be going now." "Of course," agreed Robin. "We know you must be a busy man." "It is very kind of you," said the prior, wondering whether he sounded as nervous as he felt. "As a matter of fact, I was saying to the bishop yesterday—" "Pardon me for interrupting," cut in Robin genially. "As you are in such a hurry, perhaps if you just paid the price of your dinner, we could show you a short cut to your abbey." The prior's face dropped. So that was it. These outlaws wanted the price of the meal he had eaten. The prior had no doubt that the price would be high. "I have only 3 shillings," he pleaded. "Surely you would not rob me of that? After all, I did not ask you for anything to eat. That was your idea." The prior's sound argument carried light weight with Robin. "Then what are those money bags slung on your horse's saddle?" asked Robin. "The money belongs to the sheriff," answered the prior. "It represents rents from the villagers. I cannot touch it." "I believe you," said Robin. "Now, Sir Prior, since you have only 3 shillings, we could not ask you to pay a penny towards your dinner. You shall have it for nothing." Thank you, thank you." The prior felt greatly relieved, and some of the colour that had drained from his cheeks when Robin mentioned the money bags began to return. "Instead," went on Robin with a smile, "we will accept payment from the sheriff." Oh," wailed the prior. Robin turned to his men. "Seize the money bags," he cried. "The sheriff shall pay handsomely for the prior's meal." The money bags were taken down from the horse's saddle, and Robin ordered £100 to be counted out and placed in one of his own bags. The prior's money bags were then closed and replaced on the horse, while the worthy monk stood by helplessly. "We're so sorry that you have to leave us," said Robin, guiding the unhappy man towards his horse. As the prior sadly turned the horse round and started on his journey to the sheriff, Robin called out to him, "Tell the sheriff that Robin Hood has reduced the villagers' rents by £100. I daren't tell the sheriff," said the prior sadly. "Then you get your abbot to make up the money." Robin laughed. End of chapter 31.